percent of a code you are delivering first, what percent of a products you are actually giving to the end customers. So with the last fourth phase is what, it's a growth stage. You have to measure your growth. uh, First is what, it's the execution. First you have to check your executions, what's going on inside your innovations. You have to find out the capitals who will give you the funding. Next is skills. We have to check the skills where it is a upgrade or it is a downgraded. Next is nothing but what, exit, or you can innovate the another features. So this is what are stages of a startup. We will go in detail. So the types of fundings round for your project. So for funding is required for your projects. Otherwise, that will be a loss of your projects. Self funding is not that much of sufficient for creating your self startups. So funding is round as a pre-seed, series 1, series 2, and series B. Pre-seed is nothing but what you have to you have to give your own money to that business. So it is nothing but what, pre-seeding. So status focus is what, proof of concepts. You have to create your own prototype. Means what, suppose if I want to design one something system like software systems. So your prototype should be ready. Your design should be ready. Then third parties, or you can say funding agency, will give you the fund based on your prototype. Next is based on your growth. If you are delivering the one increment of your project based on your incremental models, some companies give you the funding. Large scale expansion, if you want to sell a more products, or if you want to sell a same product into major quantity, you just have to focus on the end customers, or you can say you have to focus on your marketers. Next is the common elements of a growth. First you have to hiring, who will give you the funding. That is the more important parts. Next is for the series, development, operations, branding, and marketing. All these are comes into your branding purpose, or can say all these are comes into your marketing strategies. How you can branding your products, hiring the market expansions, buying the business, acquiring the business. You have to take a market risk also. Amount of investment. So pre-seeding is what you just, or only self funding is based on the 10 USD, 20 USD, up to 1 mm USDs. Okay, or you can say like 10,000 invest करना है, 1 lakh invest करना है, because upon you कितना आपका प्रोडक्ट अच्छा है, depending upon your products, company will, or you can say third party gives you the funding. Even government of India also giving you the funding based on your prototype. We will see later on how government is giving you the funding. So there are different types of startups. One is B2C, business to customer startup, business to business startup, P2P, person to person startups. So there are examples for the B2C customers. So B2C customers, what, Uber is giving, Uber is giving is what, directly platform where you customer can directly interact with the business. Okay, Amazon is a marketplace. You can easily communicate with the Amazon website, and um, you can add your values in your cart. Netflix is what, it is based on the subscription based policies. Netflix gives you the subscription based on your demands, like 1 year ka subscription, 2 year subscription, 6 month subscriptions. Okay, individually they are giving you the different plans to engage the customers. Next is for the B2B is nothing but what, business to business. So example is what, SaaS is what, software as a service, like a Slack, HubSpot is giving you the business to business interactions for software as a service. So software as a service is considered as what, HubSpot is the one website. It gives you those software for the freely, or you can say pay as per the use type wala business. Next is the marketplace. Amazon marketplace, it gives you the B2B business for the different business company, or you can say small scale industries. Next for the services, there are different services which are involved in B2B. Like for the example is, if I want to engage with one software, suppose more Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, so it's a part of what, B2P, business to business partnership. Next is P2P. P2P is considered as what, person to person. So we are directly engaged with person to person, like Ola. We are communicating with directly end user, as well as those who are want to buy the, or those who are want to sell their products. Okay, for here example is OLX, Coinbase are the part of exchange product. Crowdsourcing is what, Kickstart is the one website where you can crowdsource your person to person engagement. Okay, so the current scenario in India is what, startup where in India is relatively new phenomena. So make my trip, as I told you already, make my trip. Naukri.com is gives you the more handful of Indian startup success stories, but Indian startup is handled with a long convey. So there are different reasons why startups are failed. So this is a very important question. When you're designing something ideas, or when you're designing anything, like when idea comes in your mind, first you have to think about, is this idea is repeating, or if there such ideas already exist, or product is already exist in market. When you are developing a such products, then there is a no use of your products. So lack of consumer demands. So like for the lack of consumer demands means क्या हो सकता है? Suppose मैंने सेम प्रोडक्ट लॉन्च किया मार्केट में, Amazon से सेम प्रोडक्ट लॉन्च किया, who will your product? No one will use your product, because already Amazon gained the popularity. So that is the main reasons the product will fail, or your innovations will be fail. Next is the insufficient money. Because of money factors, some workers are not ready for your innovations or your idea conceptions. That is the main reason, because of फंडिंग की वजह से बहुत सारे प्रोडक्ट्स क्या होते हैं और आइडिया क्या होते हैं, फेल होते हैं. नेक्स्ट इज द पुअर मैनेजमेंट. हाउ यू कैन से पुअर मैनेजमेंट? बिकॉज ऑफ अगर आपका रीच ही नहीं है, रीच मीन्स व्हाट, अगर आपका एंड प्रोडक्ट है जो रीच ही नहीं हो पाता है, उसको बोलते हैं पुअर एंगेजमेंट. पुअर एंगेजमेंट रेट, और कैन से पुअर मैनेजमेंट रेट. नेक्स्ट इज द प्राइसिंग मॉडल. यू शुड हैव टू डिसाइड योर प्राइस. अगर मार्केट में 10 रुपीज में प्रोडक्ट मिल रहा है और आप लोग 100 रुपीज में सेम प्रोडक्ट बेच रहे हो, 20 रुपीज में सेम प्रोडक्ट बेच रहे हो, हु विल बाय योर प्रोडक्ट? नो वन विल बाय योर प्रोडक्ट. सो यू हैव टू डिसाइड टू based on the current scenario or for the current market needs. Next is a poor marketing. Poor marketing कब होता है? When people are not involving correctly. अगर हम लोगों ने correct marketing people find out नहीं किए, then your product will be failed because of the poor marketing skills. Like for example, स्टेशनरी हम लोगों ने कंपनी में जाके लॉन्च किया, देन देयर इज नो यूज ऑफ दैट स्टेशनरी वाला प्रोडक्ट. एंड इफ आई लॉन्च दैट सेम स्टेशनरी प्रोडक्ट इन स्कूल कॉलेजेस, then that will be a good strategy of marketing. So this is what a poor marketing strategies. Next is the customer satisfactions. Customer satisfaction is a very important factor when you are designing any startups. अगर कस्टमर सेटिस्फाई नहीं होता है, then he will never buy your product again. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अगर किसी ने आपका एक पेन खरीद दिया है और आपका पेन वैल्यू इतना अच्छा नहीं है, मीन्स इंक इज नॉट गुड और द सॉफ्टनेस इज नॉट दैट मच ऑफ गुड, then no one will rebuy again your products. That's the main disadvantage of your products. Means क्या होता है, customer is buying your products but they are not rebuy again your products. So that is the main drawback your customer satisfactions. Next is the legal issues. Legal issues क्या होते हैं? सपोज कॉपीराइट्स नहीं होते, बहुत सारे प्रोडक्ट्स इज नॉट कॉपीराइट्स, देन दैट टाइम इट इज कंसिडर्ड अबाउट लीगल इश्यूज. सो एनीवन कैन मेक अ कंप्लेंट अगेंस्ट योर प्रोडक्ट्स बिकॉज सेम प्रोडक्ट रिपीटेड हो रहा है. मेरा आइडिया किसी और का आइडिया हम लोगों ने ले लिया है और उसको हम लोग सेल रहे हैं, देन दैट पेटेंट वाला पीपल विल कैन कम एंड दे विल लीगली टेक एक्शन बेस्ड ऑन योर प्रोडक्ट. दैट इज वॉट लीगल इशूज. जो कंपनी हम लोग रजिस्टर कर रहे हैं, तो उसके पास क्या होना चाहिए, आइडिया प्रूफ, ओन आइडिया प्रूफ, एज वेल एज your privacy concerns. Then there is a copyright forms are there, so you should fulfill all these things then and then start with the startups. So stages to set up a startup. So one is the ideation, concepting, committing, validating, scaling, and establishing. So ideating is phase is a very important phase where you have to identify your correct ideas. ओके, फर्स्ट क्या करना है, चेक करना है हम लोग का आइडिया ऑलरेडी मार्केट में प्रेजेंट है क्या. अगर आइडिया ऑलरेडी मार्केट में प्रेजेंट है और आप लोग सेम आइडिया प्रूव कर रहे हो, ओके, कम प्राइस में आप लोग लॉन्च कर रहे हो, देन देयर इज अगेन क्या हो सकता है, प्रॉब्लम हो सकता है, लीगल प्रॉब्लम इज ऑल्सो देयर. नेक्स्ट इज द कंसेप्टिंग योर कंसेप्ट शुड बी क्लियर, नॉट इज ओवर राइटिंग. मीन्स क्या नहीं होना चाहिए, ओवर राइट नहीं होना चाहिए कंसेप्ट. नेक्स्ट इज कमिटिंग. कमिटिंग मीन्स वॉट, अगर आपने बता दिया है डेडलाइन, सपोज मैं 10th of January को प्रोडक्ट लॉन्च करने वाली हूँ, अगर इन केस मेरे यहाँ से नहीं हो रहा है launching, if I'm delaying launching, then there is a no good commitment for a customer side. Okay, अगर कस्टमर का आप लोगों ने प्रॉमिस दिया और लॉन्च नहीं कर पाए, then there is a you can say fail of your startup. So validating, how you can validate your ideas, Based on design, you can validate your ideas. Next is scaling. You have to scale your product based on them. Like for the star ratings are there: 1 star, 2 star, 4 star, 5 star. Who will give you the stars? Obviously customer. When you delivering your product to the customer, customer will give you the star ratings. Okay, reta hai, restaurant reviews are also there. Based on the restaurant reviews, we will decide whether you have to go to that restaurant or whether you have not to go to that restaurant. Next is establishing. After scaling, you have to establish your products, you have to build your product in particular levels. ओके, तो पर्टिकुलर लेवल पे होने के बाद सपोज मेरा अपलोड का लेवल है फोर्थ लेवल, तो फोर्थ लेवल से क्या नहीं होना चाहिए, नेक्स्ट इटरेशन में डाउनग्रेड नहीं होना चाहिए, इट शुड बी अपग्रेड. Then and then your startup is in good health conditions. Otherwise, it is in a bad conditions, or can say it is in a poor condition, poor health conditions. तो फोर्थ का रेटिंग है तो थर्ड रेटिंग नहीं होना चाहिए after the end of the after the year end. Okay, so that is nothing but what